you doing this because, although obviously really grateful that you left a review online, when we get customers or prospects look into, considering our services, there's nothing better than actually being able to watch customer experiences, in the flesh. So really appreciate you doing this.
No problem at all.
Really, really useful is to start from the beginning of the journey with us to kind of then the service and how you found it. So, how did you come across us? Why did you consider using us to begin with? And what drew you to our service?
Yep. Okay, I can do that. That's fine. Do you want me to go now?
Yes, please, if that's that's okay.
So I had been with a previous estate agent, so I've been with a local estate agent for a while, and I think with the current climate, it's really difficult in selling property. And having sold it twice, and the change fell through, I was looking for something a bit different. I went online, and Britishhomebuyers has got some really good reviews. So I was a little bit cautious maybe to begin with. Did a little bit more research, and then inquired about the services. And generally, straight away, really professional, answered all the questions that I had. I mulled it over for a little bit, and I decided to give it a go, and really impressed. So all the things that I was frustrated with before, I was able to share. So good communication, timely information, how I received that information was important to me, and trying to balance selling a house with clearly family life and work. So for me, initial impressions were really good, competitive compared to sort of a local agent. Very quickly, my house was online, looked really professional, so I was happy with that. But the key thing was communication. So I preferred text messages rather than getting lots of voicemails and trying to find time of the day to check voicemails, regular updates. So what I did find is the frustration with the market is sometimes the lack of feedback. And often that is not the agent's issue, but even when there was challenges, I always got an update. And actually, I eventually always got feedback, and it was really clear. So I was reassured very quickly. So that was the big win. Obviously, very happy that we found a buyer quite quickly, and even from that point on, I got really regular updates. So it was a real polar opposite of what I was maybe used to previously. So generally, and I wouldn't normally do these sort of reviews, but I do believe if you get a good service, then actually it's worth acknowledging, because I was that person who wasn't certain about perhaps maybe seeing the person I was going to be working with as an agent. And maybe that's why the comms communication is so good, because actually there's not necessarily a face at the end of the conversation. But I got to know the team really, really well. And I think they listened to they listened to my concerns about wanting updates in a timely manner, but appreciating that it can be difficult. And for me, I think regular updates by message that you can read rapidly when you're out and about, in normal kind of family life, or trying to balance, work, family, etc., was really helpful to me, and not having to find time to check voicemails, etc. So that was really positive for me. When I had eventually sold, which was actually quite quick, so I was very lucky. Even then, the updates kept coming of where we were in the process, which I was less familiar with, but again, really well received. I was then looking obviously to have a good conveyancer as well. But even then, when I would have thought most information would come from my solicitor, your service continued to provide updates. So I can't fault it really. And like I say, I wouldn't normally do this, but I genuinely was impressed, and therefore I would recommend your service and use them again.
Brilliant. And any sort of standout members of the team, or anyone you sort of want to sort of single out, or?
I think I had quite a lot of problems with Alex, but I had a few members of the team supporting me, and I think that's probably one of the key things. Actually, is that whoever it was, whoever was giving me feedback, the standard was always the same. So it wasn't like I wanted to do a particular person. So I think that's credit to you and your team really, that actually whoever was engaging with me as the vendor, actually the professional output, the kind of, it was almost like, I can't imagine, there was a handover for each one of us as a vendor, but I felt like actually the theme was common throughout, and then the quality and the timeliness of the information was always the same. So, to everyone who was engaged was really good. And I can't remember all of them because there was a few different people, but the standard was always the same, which was really positive.
Amazing. Any advice you would give to someone in your position at the beginning, exploring our sort of service, or anything you'd have liked to have known before you started with ourselves?
I don't think there's anything I would have wanted to know. Like I said, I did my research. Like most people, you Google, you try and get some reviews. The reviews, you could tell they were genuine, and I've added to those now because I generally was impressed with the service. So I guess my advice would be, there is no harm with opening dialogue and conversation to understand what you offer, maybe why you're slightly different to maybe other organisations, and hopefully endorsements such as my own can reassure people that actually it's a very, like I say, very fair in terms of pricing, excellent communication. It should not matter if it's supporting you on a national or regional level compared to maybe a local estate agent who is maybe known in a region. Like I say, I'm a convert really.
No, good. No, honestly, I really, really appreciate you taking the time to do this because, like you said, you're really busy. So to take time to sort of do this is really appreciated. It helps us a tremendous amount, and also the team love watching these when they come in because obviously we don't meet people face to face, so it can feel like we're apart from the customer in a way. So actually, for the team to see these, it really helps.